Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and as promised, I finally actually got to sit down and actually check out the showdown that happened between Spider-Man, Electro, and Sandman in the almost movie Spider-Man 1994 movie. So let me tell you that number one is that he did say a lot of stuff happens. So that means that we don't actually get to have the true showdown part. Is that he does have showdown in there, but he also says lots of stuff happens. So that means that we don't really get to have the whole entire look of the showdown. There's some stuff missing. Anyways, we have Strand. Yeah, Strand who shoots bolts all over the place. And then there was a slugfest with Sandman. And eventually, Spider Man actually gets battle damaged. Meanwhile, Strand actually is feeding from a 440 volt cable. And he's screaming while he's doing it, causing a massive blackout within New York City. And eventually he created an electrical field, and you have Sandman getting beaten to semi-consciousness by Spider-Man. And Spider-Man throws him off the building, and he webs him as he falls, and then either A, he pulls him back up, or B, he most likely is letting him hang off the building. I think he pulled him back up because I find out what happens to Sandman in the end of the movie. I find out right here. Anyways, here is what exactly the script says that happens next is that Spidey sees Strand ready to get a Mega Blast. He leaps and the bolt rips along the edge of the roof, blasting glass into space and fusing steel in a glowing track a yard away. Lots more stuff happens, and you also have Sandman finally comes back to and he fires web at Sandman, lassoing him just as Strad releases a bolt. Spidey drops over the edge, pulling the web, jerking Sandman screaming right into the path of the lightning beam, which, yes, as you can see, Spider-Man is screaming again. So it's like 5 in total where you have Spider-Man screaming. I just hope that if they would have picked the person who plays Spider-Man, that it won't be the person who is playing Gotham's Bruce Wayne, even though it's not that bad, yeah, and plus he wasn't even born yet. But still, it's like if they got someone who had shrieked, oh my gosh, that would make this movie so horrible because you have a Spider-Man who actually shrieks as he screams, which is like, oh jeez. Anyways, so what happens to Sandman is that Sandman got hit by the lightning beam and he turns into molten glass. Ooh. Yeah, so he at least the good news is that he is not destroyed like what happened to the guy in The Flash. I think it was Sand Demon. Sand Demon got shattered to bits. Instead, he's more like what happened in Age of Extinction, that stupid idiot who actually ratted him out. Even though I really wish Lockdown just kicked him. I wish Lockdown kicked his statue and just shattered it, just showing that he's ruthless. But instead, no, they didn't allow him to get kicked. So, Sandman is either dead or might be dead. I think he is dead. So, Spider-Man uses a hose on Strand, and a steam explosion happens. A brutal beatdown on Strand, and then Strand was shooting pulses into Spidey while he was actually getting beaten, pummeling him even as Strad shoots pulses. Oh yeah, this is the quote from him. Yeah, this is the quote. So after all that, yeah, and he is now, his costume is even worse off. Yeah, he's worse off. And Strad is bleeding. Yeah, he's truly bleeding. So Strad actually summons a lethal blast. Spider-Man dodges it and webs Strad, and Spider-Man falls off the roof, and Strad follows with electricity shooting everywhere. And of course, here is more from the script. And one thing I didn't say was that it turns out that Strad was hanging with a web. He actually webbed him, and he was hanging there. And he actually pulled him back up to the observation deck where Strad is actually laying there bleeding to death. And Strad finally actually was able to actually pull off Spider-Man's mask and reveal Peter. And I already said this in the long video that you guys can check out of the whole entire script. But of course, it's like, what's your name, kid? Peter Parker. And he's like, what are you in? Senior in high school? It's like, yeah, I graduate next week. And then Strad chuckles weakly, coughing blood from ruptured lungs. And he says, unbelievable. And he dies right there. And then there's more stuff that happens here, which you guys can read for yourself. But anyways, this is what happened in the showdown. It's a lot. As you can see, I actually had to give some nice little cutouts from the script itself. So anyways, there you go, finally. Well, I'm gonna whip out. Don't you guys think about this?